Ladies and gentlemen, once again, I welcome you all back for 15th edition of Source India Electronic Supply Chain. Up next, we have the panel discussion on indigenization of capital goods, opportunities, and importance for advancing manufacturing technology. As our moderator, we have Dr. Naga Hanumaya, the Director, Central Manufacturing Technology Institute. He is a distinguished scientist in the field of manufacturing research with more than 3 decades of impactful contributions. He serves as the Director, Central Manufacturing Technology Institute. He steered the institute into a hub of innovation, technology, development, and industry collaboration. He holds a PhD from the IIT Bombay. As Director of CMTI, Dr. Naga Hanumaya has transformed the Institute's mandate through strategic leadership and innovation-driven policies. Under his stewardship, CMTI has delivered 40 advanced machines, rigs, and products, licensed 8 flagship technologies, and secured 32 patents and IPRs. He is a prolific researcher with 115 publications, 10 patents, and mentorship of 27 postgraduate and doctoral scholars. Dr. Naga Hanumaya's outstanding contributions have been recognized with numerous accolades, including the Vasvik Award, the Innovation Leaders Award 2025, the Distinguished Leadership Award. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a huge round of applause and welcome Dr. Naga Hanumaya, the Director, Central Manufacturing Technology Institute. As our panelist, we have Mr. Shiv Kumar Srinivasan, the Managing Director, Mel Systems and Services Limited, with over 22 years of experience providing solutions in information technology and industrial automation. An alumnus of Temasek Polytechnic, Singapore, and Monash University, Australia, and Chennai Business School, he is qualified in IT systems and business management. Mr. Shiv Kumar heads Mel Systems and Services Limited and organizations providing solutions for electronic manufacturing and testing, industrial automation, digital technology, solutions, and simulators. Prior to joining Mel Systems, Mr. Shiv Kumar worked in Singapore delivering mission-critical software applications for finance, insurance, and retail industries. Ladies and gentlemen, with a huge round of applause, let's welcome Mr. Shiv Kumar Srinivasan. We also have our panelist, Mr. Vinod Perumal, the CEO of Equipment Technologies. Starting his career in 2006 with Nokia, he spent over a decade gaining deep industry insights across the world's most advanced markets, including the UK, Singapore, Japan, and Korea. He also collaborated with global icons such as Flex, Jabil, and Samsung, mastering the complexities of the electronics world. In 2017, he translated that global vision into local reality by founding Equipment Technologies India Private Limited, recognizing the untapped potential of India's electronics sector. His leadership has since expanded the company into a diversified powerhouse for SMT and automation solutions, and also been the first company to build this class of equipment entirely in India. So let's give a huge round of applause as we welcome Mr. Vinod Perumal, the CEO of Equipment Technologies. Ladies and gentlemen, on our panelists, we also have Mr. Raghu Srinivasa as the Managing Director of 3D Concept Analysis and Development India Private Limited. He began his entrepreneurial journey in 2007 with a simple vision, unwavering determination, and a single desktop set up at his dining table. His bold leadership and global outlook enabled 3D CAD to expand into European and US markets, evolving the company into a truly international enterprise. Today, under his leadership, 3D CAD offers comprehensive in-house solutions spanning design, simulation, automation, manufacturing, software, and product development. With operations across multiple countries, let's give a huge round of applause as we welcome Mr. Raghu Srinivasa, the Managing Director of 3D Concept Analysis and Development India Private Limited. May I request Dr. Naga Hanumaya to please join us on the stage.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thanks to Elsina for having all of us here. If you look at a manufacturing value chain, for a common layman, material is getting converted into a product. I think that is what we studied in first year of engineering. While doing so, there are 4 components one has to address. I call it as 4 P's, that is the product design itself, then process design, the people, then the production. I will not get into because of the time, because we wanted to hear from our panelists. The last P, that is the production challenges is primarily centered around the capital goods, because this is capital intensive equipment, and for company owner this is major concern always, right? And the exact value addition also happens there, because raw material is getting converted to valuable product, the capital goods. I think that is how important, but unfortunately we were the people never recognized. The reason is product is the one it is used by user. As long as product is good, I think how it is made, who made, or what machine made, that becomes immaterial. But in the manufacturing value chain, this is a very important component. No matter whether you make water bottle is your product portfolio, or the now chip space, everywhere you require a capital goods. In general, capital goods includes not only the machine, the automation system, subsystems, inspection system, metrology, then certification, whatever the test beds. This all together forms the capital goods. Thanks to the Elsina to have all of us, we all from the same background. About me, I'm from CMTA, Central Manufacturing Technology Institute. It is a National R&D Institute under Ministry of Heavy Industry. In fact, this institute started as a Central Machine Tool Institute. There are several firsts, that is kind of we can take pride. CMTA was the first 7 engineers, CMTA engineers, scientists were first trained in CNC in India in 60s, late 60s. We are the first to build a CNC machines, but now we build range of machines starting from food machinery to semiconductor machineries, including our strategic and kind of what they called atomic energy equipments machines we build. Last 64 years we build about 500 such machines that are new to India. Annually we build about 8 to 10 machines. Even I am part of CMTA from last 8 years. We delivered 48 machines to our customer, various customers. And these all 48 machines, first time design developed in the country. We just, for your community, we just started to your domain, engineering of capital goods for electronics components manufacturing or semiconductor, including semiconductor equipment. I hope some of our machines will be available for Indian companies very soon. This is about CMTA. Apart from this, yes, we conduct several training programs, capital development, human capital development, and then we also offer services. Services means just some simple testing inside the lab or troubleshooting of your equipment, machinery at your factory, or the components, products which were designed, developed by MSME need to be certified third-party evaluation, validation. So those kind of services we offer. This is about in a nutshell about CMTI. I think my colleagues also from the capital goods, both their professional career and now they are actively involved in engineering of capital goods. One common thing for all 4 of us is we respect or we target capital goods or machines designed, developed in the country. I think that is the one common thing for all the panelists. I'm sure this next about 50-55 minutes interactions will give you at least the confidence that yes, the capabilities are there in the country which are required to engineer the precision machine equipments, automation system that is required for your electronics components manufacturing too. I think with this I will stop. I will request the first round of kind of introduction by each panelist. They will introduce their expertise, their company, and what the space they fill in the national capital goods sector. So I will start with maybe Vinod.
Hi, good afternoon. I think just want to wake you up after a good lunch, right? Thanks for this session. Thanks to Elsina for arranging this. This is a great event, to be honest, because asking us to come and sit in front of you, especially on the missionary side. That's the key part, which never happened before. Okay, myself, Vinod Perumal, Managing Director of Equipment Technologies. Equipment stands for Eco Products Make in India. So whatever we do, we just want to do it in India. And we are manufacturing equipments for PCBA and converting ourselves to the semiconductor as well. As of now, in the last 2.5 years, we have manufactured 120 different patent types, which is Indian intelligent done that. Okay, so it's not from the foreign IP, it's an Indian IP, and sold more than 1,100 machines in the last 2 years, which is manufactured in India. And I'm really proud and pride to say this. We have that capability, we can do, and we are the example for the upcomers that Indian mentality, Indian mindset can give a world-class mission to this industry. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone, and first of all, thank you, Elsina, for giving us this opportunity. So my name is Shiv Kumar, and I'm from MELS Systems and Services Limited. Now, MELS, we are an organization, we could say predominantly very apt to this, this topic. So we deal with a lot of capital equipment. We are in multiple business areas, but the common thread is in all into capital equipment. Of course, over the years, we've been representing a lot of companies from around the globe in India in terms of electronic assembly, testing, and repair products, as well as for reliability testing. So I stand from both sides of the spectrum of what we'll be talking today. And a fair bit of our business is in the domestic market, where we design, develop, and integrate machines, capital equipment. We've been doing a lot of ATEs, automated test equipments and solutions for testing electronics. It could be at the board level, it could be at the assembly level. So we do that. We work with all the EV and EV related manufacturing companies as well, again on the electronic space. We have a large industrial automation team doing factory line automation equipment, robotics, and any other line automation that may be required. And that's electromechanical in nature. And we also have a factory digitalization solutions group that provides Industry 4.0 and any type of an factory digitalization, be it talking to the machines, acquisition of data, and then presenting it. So today, as the so-called automation or the capital equipment is evolving, it's gone right from only being electromechanical solution to intelligent to right now being a highly digital enabled solution. So we provide solutions across the spectrum, right? Thank you. So that's where we come from, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. This I request
Hi, my name is Raghu Srinivasa. I am from Bangalore. Sorry for my voice. Was there in Delhi, so last weekend and little choked up because of the weather. Capital goods is a very interesting subject. I think every entrepreneur will be discussing about capital equipment, which is like one-time investment, where we hear in our business at least daily, probably at least 10 to 15 times. So what my company does is 3D concept analysis and development. We are mainly into the automation, industrial automation, and building the SPM, special purpose machines. Both, we are not into metal cutting, but non-metal cutting. Predominantly assembly, inspection, testing, packing, the complete lines. We are working in automotive, semiconductor, even in the with OSAT, a lot of OSAT companies in the EMC side. And whether it's related to assembly, the whole, probably the components with vision, without vision, with robo, without robo. So we are doing that. And when it comes to the inspection, laser marking, yes, we are doing a lot of things. And whatever we do every day, it's only capital goods at the end of the day. Starting only the design is what we have the know-how, and the programming, PLC programming, and the software, what we build for Industry 4 or 5. Whatever we build a line where it takes robots, or it takes all the sensors, whether it takes everything, it's all capital goods. So a very interesting topic. And my company is end-to-end solution provider in this area of spectrum in the automation and SPM. So probably I'll hand over to Dr. Hanumanaya so that he can take it up further.
As I already mentioned, maybe this is to again back to Raghu. Engineering of capital goods involves requires the expertise of the product, process, then the people, that means who operates, meant for what purpose, including to consider the user of the end product comes out of that, means maybe particularly the staged manufacturing. And maybe your assembly guy is the last guy. We will appreciate the manufacturing efficiency and the efficiency of your capital good. Then the last one is the investment, right? Machines made for the purpose or not. If I quote here, there was a report, Vision for Manufacturing, published in USA in 2018. The future manufacturing, irrespective of the domain, that report says that products are getting smarter, intelligent, and product life cycle is, these are all everybody knows. As a result, what changes expected is the processes are becoming a predictive. The machines are to be built in a modular and reconfigurable, right? Because you cannot have a machine, the concept of special purpose machines is changing. No longer the special purpose machines will be there. The machines has to be reconfigurable, right? In this context, if somebody maybe wanted to take this as a career or a business portfolio as a capital goods, engineering of capital goods, what are the avenues, opportunities? Because you are a designer, start from CAD to end user. What are the opportunity for somebody wanted to venture into engineering of capital goods, no matter what sector, depending on their domain, their requirement. But what are the opportunity available so one can grab it?
Very tough question, but still, see, when we go and sit with the product owners, we start working with the product owners. Let it be a car industry, let it be a semiconductor industry, let it be, once again, in the space of general engineering products, right? We sit with the product designer to understand his product design. And then he is a product designer where he wants to design a product with look and feel or ergonomics, but at the end of the day, it is manufacturable. That is one thing. So we start the process work with the product design guys. We develop the complete process over there in terms of manufacturing feasibility. Then the whole thing we start once again with we call as DES, discrete event simulation, which is a very important thing which today many industries are going ahead with when they are setting up a new plant. A discrete event simulation plays a major role in terms of moving the material from one end to one other end, what all the bottlenecks, where all you get choked. Then we have something called simulation, the automation, and general thinking of most of the companies or the mid-average companies. When they say automation, it is you put a robot, automation is done, which is a wrong bottleneck once again. A robot doesn't do automation. So it's the robot is one of the sensor. That's all I can say. It's one of the sensor. So when we talk of capital investment proving today, these are all the things which which we need to take into consideration. And then building the line. The more challenges what we face is when we are working with an automotive industry, or it can be on the EMS side. Now, if I take an example of one of the Japanese company, they come and say that, okay, we need to build a complete line. If we take Toyota Kirloskar, TKM, where the whole car needs to be manufactured, but at the end of the day, 80% of the capital goods should be used by the Japanese companies. Whether let it be a robot, let it be a sensor, let it be a basic gearbox, everything is like in the spec, it's like, okay, these are all the potential OEMs what you need to use for building this line. So when we talk of Indian companies also at the same time, where when we propose telling that, okay, these are all the capital goods what we are going to use in terms of building the line or automation, once again, we have very less opportunity, or I can say that only 80% of the product what we use are all imported with capital goods. So less than 20% is what we use, the Indian ones. But there's a good potential if we can develop, because till today, whatever the robots what we use, we are saying that, yeah, we are growing, we need to do automation, or the business is growing, semiconductor industry is going to go big, but we don't have any one single robot which is manufactured in India. Today we are 100% dependent on Japan or European brands, where even a semiconductor lies in the robot, right? At the end of the day, a PCB is there, there is a logic working over there. You take the drives, you take the sensors, everything is imported. So starting from even the smallest of the smallest, if we can start localization and if we can start developing that, I think there's a long future for us.
Same.
Yeah, so in terms of what you were saying, see, when we talk about localization, it is not, or let's say for capital goods, right? In the capital goods thing, a lot gets defined by the design OEMs, okay, in the EMS market, or when you talk about electronics. So they say that this is the capital good, because at the moment, I would say totally new product development in India, other than maybe for consumer goods, they are at the moment not fully being done here. So they are at the moment kind of transferring lines over here. That's still, I think, a vast majority of what is happening in the electronics market, be it in electronics or even on the semicon side, whatever we are currently talking about. A similar product is going to get marked. It's not the first time that it's getting done here. And so the brands that are wanting to do it are not wanting to take the risk. And similarly, organizations over here, I think one is they listen to the OEMs, what they want to do. And the second is the confidence within our own ecosystem has to build. I think that, okay, nothing works the first time. Okay, so there is a learning curve, but you need a starting point always. And without the starting point, you're never going to move ahead. And so I think that's the point to add.
Okay, so again, question to Srinivas. If you look at this fact statistics, 53% of machine tools are still imported, and maybe I'm not having exact figure, but that figure may be more than definitely 50% if you look at electronics components manufacturing, capital goods for electronics components manufacturing. For semiconductors, still we are very early stage now. But that is one. And second one is, if you look at the training part, our engineering, somehow almost all the mechanical engineering syllabus of any university take, they compromise this. Now machine tool technology is not taught. They taught production engineering, manufacturing processes 1 and 2, but more focus on process. It is not taught even out. If you ask engineering students, comes out of the college, how to measure the parallelity, so they don't have an answer, because it was not taught in the class, not taught in the course. Apart from that, the major challenges are there, because machines, if your components demands 10 microns, simple manufacturing thumb rule is your machine should be 10 times more accurate than what is designed. Like these are all little two extremes. In that situation, maybe Srinivas, you are into machine builders. What are like barriers you face in engineering of capital goods in the country is the focus?
So let me put it this way, sir. I think to start with, I think again, I'll not talk about automation or equipment building as a whole, right? I think in certain industries, we have a reasonable amount of capital equipment that is being manufactured within the country. I would say automotive industry, for example, there are a lot of companies who are building capital equipment here. Maybe like what Raghu said, and I know they do a lot of work in that industry. The subcomponents that we buy, like the motors, sensors, all those we are still dependent, but an overall equipment is still being built here. Maybe it's over the last 3-4 decades, a lot of expertise have been generated, and this is the same topic that is then being transferred over to the education system. So there are two parts. So one is you need people to guide, and you need people who will do it. Now the people who will do it, as the education system at the moment, over the last 2-3 decades, we've been focusing on automotive. So you go to a college and then you see what kind of center of excellence they have. They have a center of excellence for welding. They have a center of excellence for a machine tool center. They have a center of excellence on how automotive parts are being designed. You have an automotive engineering course, not just mechanical, mechatronics, you have automotive engineering. So these were courses. But when coming to electronic capital equipment, again, both the guide is not available, I would say, and the people who need to be guided are also not having the ecosystem to be guided on that. It's quite difficult for people to start looking at sub-micron level. Okay, so when you're talking about understanding parallelity, okay, and then you start going into sub-micron level, it's really a challenge. So I think students need to understand, and so the ecosystem needs to be there. And so first we need organizations who are able to design it here locally. Okay, of course, any technology, there are two ways. Either you design it, you understand, and you invent the technology, you do innovation so that you are the first mover. If that's not there, but you're trying to do something that's elsewhere in the world, then we need a way of acquiring the technology and then start building it. That then over a period of time, maybe 5 years, 10 years, there's a lot of organizations that will be building capital equipment, and those organizations can then start guiding the next generation who will come in, and then that starts forming the way how the next generation thinks, and then they are able to develop on those kind of products. But to start with organizations to really build, I think they need to have the trust and the manufacturers giving them the opportunity to start. See, anyway, I think all of them are in a business and a commercial environment. In such case, I think, well, even there's a passion for them to build such equipment, I think the market needs to be there for them to be able to build and start selling those. Unless there is acceptance in the market, it's going to be difficult. Now, long term, I would say, like other industries where it has taken 2-3 decades, if you look at the evolution map, always the growth is rapid towards the end. So I would say even for this, India has been pretty quick in terms of the last 10 years, the overall electronics ecosystem that's growing. We are talking about 3 times multiplication over the next 5 years. So the rate is pretty fast. And naturally, with all these kind of initiatives that is being taken, I'm sure that this ecosystem will develop much faster, and we will have this gap reduced within the next 2-3 years.
So this is for Vinod. See, any technology development ecosystem involved 3 components. One is technology developer. Third one is the manufacturer, people like you who could scale up. The fourth one is the enabler, that is a government policy interventions, right? So as a machine tool or machine manufacturer, not necessarily any capital goods for that matter, what you expect from the policy interventions, particularly said there are so many opportunity. One is an RDI. How do you look at RDI? Does it RDI is helps to the machine building activities in this? Then there are several PLI schemes are introduced in the different sector, nothing on the capital good. But at the same time, our ministry, if not aware, so I will, our ministry has a capital goods scheme, Ministry of Heavy Industry, where 20% investment has to be given by industry, 80% support is there for the government. And that enables, that basically targeted to engineer the machine which are not made in the country yet. Currently, we CMT building 16 new machines with 13 industry partners. Right? What is your expectation as a machine manufacturers? Yeah. Is what you want, both on also deployment of our machine.
Yeah, thanks for asking because you're bringing my emotions out. That's the way. I have to put it this way, okay? So just getting into that, I would like to give a small max now, yeah? Which one should come? Whether demand should come or supply should come? Here, we don't have a demand. But there is a real demand for the product, but there is a no demand for an Indian product. That is the real truth. So, in the next couple of years, we had a survey on the market, okay? There's going to be another 1,000 SMT lines going to come into India. Say for an example, to have a one SMT line, you need minimum 10 to 12 crores to have a. So you, in front of you within a year, there will be a 12,000 crores order in front of you, which we are not yet to see that in our real eyes. And government should think about the benefits which can give to the local manufacturer. Say, for an example, to the company coming to India, first check whether this machine available in India first. If India don't have this product, then you can search in the other part of the world. So this sense of urgency should come from the government's point of view or the local push. In fact, as of now, there is no special schemes announced for the capital goods manufacturers like us. And there was a lot of discussion happened even with the Elsina team and the bureaucrats, the government officials. So how to calculate the PLIs for the mission side. So production linked incentive will go with your end product, but how to work on with the products which for the manufacturers like mission manufacturers. So there's should be a way to encourage a design and developing companies like us to come up and show their skill. So to answer your question straightforward, there is no schemes yet. that's the answer. There's no schemes yet. There's no positive push for that. So through this media, through this Elsina sounds well for the whole India and very much connected with the government officials. And I'm putting this on behalf of all the mission manufacturers, saying that whoever comes to India to do manufacturing, whether it's an Indian IP product or the foreign IP product, encourage them to search in India first. Use the Indian products. Okay, first, if you don't available, then yes, you can go and find something outside. So that's push should do first. And moreover, there should be a closed loop system should be followed, okay? See, like our customers or the end users, manufacturer like us, a government officials, R&D department should have a closed loop to understand what the real market requirement, all together put their mind inside, develop these machines in India, so that the huge impact on this, if you calculate the import deficit only in the SMT industry for the machine aspects and the component aspects, the end margin is very, very minimum. Because everything we are dependent on outside. So I think as of now there is no push through this media. Thanks for asking this question, sir. So let it reach somewhere and work out something for machine manufacturers like us. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, actually this is for Raghu. See, there are several people build a machine, including these people, but there is always kind of resistance when you look at as a user, okay, can I use it when you have an option of imported machines? That is one part. So being a machine tool background, there is another is lot of dumping happens. Unfortunately, there is no kind of regulatories uh, that restricts. Uh, why that is not there? Still, standardization itself is not there. Particular. Okay, you have a standards for a component subsystems, but as a machine, no. Right? Machine made by same machine made by me, machine made by Srinivas. How to evaluate? Only user can evaluate. There is no set process. How do you say that standardization would help us? Is it required? If not required, then what is next? How best we can prove that our machines are reliable?
So standardization is 100% required. But to, first of all, to do the standardization, our mindset should change. Because even today, probably CMTI is a mother hen for us in machine tools. So we have learned from there, from the mother hen. Almost 25, 30 years back, we started a word called reverse engineering or re-engineering. That's how we started our machine tool journey. Whether it's Fritz Werner or any technology what we got from Germany. So the first thing is to do the standardization. No? We need to change our thinking, not anymore reverse engineering or re-engineering, probably R&D. That is what Dr. Ravi said just now when we were speaking, the R&D. Just a joke, not to Elsina is a fantastic thing. Elsina has done a re-engineering just outside where Mr. Paul has my image over there as a speaker. So the re-engineering word needs to be, if we need to do the standardization, right, we are copying something, we are just copying. So we are not adding any value over there. The value comes from R&D. When you are doing an R&D, right, when you are setting up an R&D, then the standardization is very much required. Today, my own customers, they say, why don't we go to China and get the missions? Because your cost is very high, your line, what you are building. They are probably economically, they are cheap because they are standardized. They are not manufacturing one mission, they are manufacturing hundreds, thousands. If you have gone to the, if you have seen in China, right, it's like a factory for the missions, right? Today in India, we don't have. We say CMTI, we have BFW in machine tool industry itself, right? Kennametal, etc. But today, even there, we don't have the standardization as of now. So the main challenge is as a integrator, right? System integrator. My every requirement changes from the customer. The second thing is, if we need to be optimized in the cost without standardization, it's impossible because everything is an R&D. For me, everything starts from the design, everything starts with catching hold of a snake, whether it's poisonous or venomous or not. But at the end of the day, I need to complete the project. It's not a production. So once we start standardization, right, in the industry, that should come from the OEMs. So once we start standardizing and once the OEM starts putting us, or the industry body puts us under standardization, right? Definitely I can even say, Vinod, what he said, like cost, when it comes to cost, we'll be definitely in par with a lot of companies or a lot of other geo guys who are selling their equipments here.
Good. This is for Srinivas. Now everybody is talking about digitization, Industry 4, Industry 5. And I also told that tomorrow's machine will be, processes are becoming predictive and machines are to be configured. How does we Indians, first is, are we ready for that? Or what need to be done if we want to embrace the digitization with respect to capital goods?
So,
a lot of things happened with respect to factory automation, but what I'm talking about, engineering smart machines, smart equipments.
So more than saying, are we ready for it, I think we do not have a choice now. You will be left behind. If you do not embrace digital technology and the smart machines, I'd say intelligent machines, you will be left behind. Now, a classic example I would take is in terms of an infrastructure. So I think when Yahoo was one of the top search engines, and then there was Google that was just coming up, and then in fact I read an interview where it said, how are you going to displace them? But that was at Stanford, the Google the founders were asked, okay, you're talking about building a search engine, so it's very difficult. No? Today, if somebody says, I've got to replace Google and then put a new search engine there, you almost don't believe it, okay, unless the whole technology, today you have AI and the technology changes. But at that time, a very interesting point came up. Their current entire infrastructure is built using a server technology which was available 8 to 10 years ago. The whole software ecosystem, architecture, everything was built that way. And then when Google came up, the whole hardware ecosystem that they required was very different. Okay, and that enabled them to rapidly grow based on that day's technology. So I look at this as an opportunity again in the capital equipment for India. If we are just going to build, we should look at the digital technologies available, both the technologies that the capital equipment uses. Today you don't have to go back 15 years ago where someone who built an AOI machine used let's say a very traditional camera and then used a lot of processing capability to understand. You start with AI straight away, right? So that brings you much ahead. Then there are problem statements that you may want to address in terms of accuracy of sensors and things like that, which are available today, is far better than what was available 10, 15 years ago. And it's very much possible that competition or existing equipment, for them to re-engineer it, to bring it to that level, is going to be extremely difficult. So rather than saying whether are we ready to do it, I think it's taken that you have to do it. It's like now using mechanical parts in a machine. Digital technology has to be used. Now, the question probably is, as an organization who's been offering this to customers, right, I would say, are my customers ready to pay for it? Okay, that's the only problem I really see. Now we are in a cost-driven economy, and then while it's a little sorry to say, but I find a lot of our customers today, when they talk about digitalization, they don't really see, is that something that's driving value for them, and then that's helping them save cost or improve quality or deliver at a better efficiency. Many times it's driven by their customers asking them for the digital data to say, okay, is your machine compliant to so and so? Is it providing this information? And that's what is driving them. So they want to keep the costs low. I would say that's really the challenge, not are we ready for it?
This is again, Vinod, we always, starting from policymakers to industry, there are few aspects we don't know whose responsibility. One aspect is the training, and second is academia industry collaboration. This is always there, right? Earlier, current system and earlier, maybe our generation people, we were lucky. There were lot of CPSCs were there. When we came out of the college, I joined as a management trainee to one of the CPSC. I was put for 2 years rigorous training on production planning or design department. If I have become a designer because of that training, right? That is grossly missing now. You all guys expect the kids comes out of the college, start designing a machine tomorrow. I think that is the kind of expectation is there. So how do you what is the networking collaboration model you expect, so that particularly with the capital goods, we collectively can able to build, create the domestic IPs?
Yeah, so before I answer to the question, I just want to say this joke. I was interviewing a person direct from the college. I was asking him, do you know what is the abbreviation for SMT? He said, Srimati. Okay, this is the way, and one of the guys said St. Thomas Mount. So all this is the level when the college students are coming up and talking about, sorry Richard sir, actually I know the joke. Yeah, so this is the way they are level. So actually this skill level should be built up from the bottom level. So we are very much prone to export people, right? So once we finish the college, we used to say go and settle in US or UK. We export. So I feel now it's time to import people, first of all. So we all understand in terms of semiconductor or the machines, the IPs are held by USA or Japan or Korea, Taiwan. We have to see how our neighbor country have developed. So they have called everyone, imported people, imported ideas, they worked along with it, learned it. So it's time for us to learn the know-hows from the outside. This is the first thing. But where we are going to do that? We are not going to form a college for semiconductor. Even if today we find a college for semiconductor, where are you going to work? So there's no place to work there. So the institutions should work along with the associations like Elsina or any other associations which keen on developing the skill efforts, and also like a central team, so with the R&D development. So once you finish the college, you want to get into this kind of a segment, you should know where I go and learn this. So that gap we have to fill about this industry. I think vocational group, people all know about it, but now no one taking that. After you finish your higher secondary, you just directly want to be an engineer or a doctor. That's a two-way. There's no vocational group. We just missed out the basement, the fundamental thing for creating an idea and producing it. So that's my
I have two open questions, not for the panelists, this is for the audience. Particularly if you look at capital goods, you all from electronics background, electronics manufacturing or semiconductor is a domain, right? What should be the priority? Priority is import substitution versus global competitiveness. Capital goods, if we want to engineer the capital goods in the country, what should be our priority, whether it is import substitution or global competitiveness? If any of you, or including you, is open question because we have not proposed this to.
I just want to add one thing. We all crossed that pandemic, yeah? There was one big customer, we invested $1 billion in their line. And during the pandemic, nobody can travel, so the foreigners cannot come, especially our neighbor country can't travel from there. All these machines were bought from that country. And the $1 billion line, I got a small equipment which cost around $5,000. The line was down because of that $5,000, $1 billion line is down because that program was written in Chinese language. So you got access to the laptop, you got access to the program, the local modification team can't understand what's running there. So the entire production line was down because the program is not from us, which we don't know. So this is a direct answer. We don't know what's going to come in future, but we should be self-reliant. This is the way the government saying Atma Nirbhar Bharat, yeah. And the import substitution to see in reality should come in our mind first. We should trust our product. And there was a one open discussion we also did before, like we have a people who can design here, but no people there to buy it or brand it. So we sell our product, we sell our design ideas to someone from the outside because no one want to buy it. That's a real story. So import substitution, in my perspective, that should come from our mind first. Trust the Indian products first. So that automatically other things will follow.
I think as I told earlier, probably all the OEMs, as other geo OEMs are there, let it be a Japanese company or a Korean company or a German company, they always try to say that, okay, whatever is done in my country first should be implemented in my line or my factory or my thing, right? Even if you see the Korean companies or Japanese companies, they bring their set of all the players, their tier 1, tier 2s, wherever in the world they are building their lines or wherever they are building their facilities. But in India, I think that is one change is required in case if you want to make this capital equipment to be localized, manufactured, and also exported. Because at the end of the day, when we want to export our product, no, the first question will be asked over there in German or French as which industry is using this product. When our own Indian companies are not ready to accept it, I think it's a big challenge for us to make them to accept our product over there. And I think we are failing predominantly there. It's not that we are not capable of, because at the end of the day, I was just talking to one of my colleagues where he says 60% of Microsoft coding happens in India. Or AI, whatever the new developments happening in Meta or in other areas, major percentage of development happening in India. But the product doesn't, we don't hold the product. At the end of the day, we are becoming a development center, or we are trying to give our gyan or knowledge and make someone sell their product. And the same product we are using at the end of the day, which is drastically bad, right? So if our OEMs and tier 1s together as a collaborative or a partnership model, if we can develop and set the standards telling that let's use this as an Indian product, then we can definitely think of both import and export, and definitely we can grow this capital goods business.
There is a second question. This is not strictly not for the panelist. I will only 3 keywords. If anybody wanted to comment on that, you can comment. Financing innovation models, risk sharing, technology transfer, domestic IP. Anybody can speak on anything. We have only 2 minutes time. After that, we'll take your question. Financing innovations, risk sharing amongst all stakeholders. Then technology transfer models being practiced in India. The last one is co-development. Maybe another. Anybody wanted? Your thoughts? Please. Financing innovations, risk sharing, co-development, technology transfer.
Very big subjects.
No, any one topic, whichever you use. Because these are very much important in the capital goods. If really India wanted to become a leader of capital goods, no matter any domain, I think this is important. We are grossly missing no clarity yet.
Okay, so I mean, I am saying something because
Yeah,
I
yeah,
doubt
please.
if anybody will say anything.
Please.
So I will, take this challenge, and maybe in 1 minute I will say something.
Yeah, please, sir.
On financing models.
Yeah, please.
Right. So financing is a very big issue in India. We've got high finance cost. So this has to be supported by the government, and there has to be, risk capital available, as is for infrastructure projects. The way they finance, dams and the very large projects in the country of various types, maybe the electricity generation projects. So they have got very long, moratorium period, so that the gestation period can be covered. And I think also there has to be special financing for R&D and innovation in this, because in this kind of technology, I believe that all types of engineering is required. It is not only mechanical or only electrical or only chemical or metallurgical or whatever. So everything is required, including electronics, which is growing very fast. So I would just say that this has to be treated like an infrastructure project, and there has to be risk money coming from the government. There is no other way, because this is an industry which has developed over the long run. If we were able to sustain companies like HMT, and if we had actually managed to, they all kind of lost their way somewhere. They just did not rise to the occasion and all that. So I think that is what I would say. I mean, I don't know if you agree with me or not, but that is what I
No, I understand. Basically, government interventions is required. Any other? Please. There.
I think as Alice spoke about, identifying this identifying the Indian businesses or the Indian companies for the products that are imported from outside. I think the best way to finance such businesses is when there's an already established industry or a business who are already importing the required components, and then they find a small business or a new business who is manufacturing or producing the components that's required that is imported. They can support the businesses because they already have the established clientele, and even the government, as he said, the government should give the allowance for such new companies, identify the regions where the new companies are budding from the imported industries and support them. And the already established businesses or the already established clientele can, again, refer back to these companies and they'll be using it in a larger scale. So through networking, I think the companies can grow. And the other thing, people mostly rely on on importing components is because of the reliancy of the components or the product that they are using. There's a trust factor that's already built with the imported components or the industry. So for a homegrown brand or like a homegrown company to build that, that trust factor with the clientele, obviously it takes time. So for them to actually build it, people need to go to them and actually purchase from them for them to grow. So, yeah.
You mean acquiring a technology or?
Sorry?
Are you acquiring a technology or acquisition of like joint ventures, collaboration?
Yeah, joint venture. So when there's an already established company or an industry who import it, they can support the homegrown brands that are trying to come up with it in domestically or locally within the country.
Yeah, that is to some extent is happening because now big companies, Indian companies, acquiring the technology intensive companies outside. That is how technology transfer is also happening. Yeah. So any other? So if not, then I will take two questions to the panelists. Either you can point any specific panelist or you have open question. Any questions? Yeah, please.
So actually this is an open question. So if you see the electronic manufacturing in India started like around 20 to 30 years back in India, and now due to the government policy we are doing a Make in India and we have started manufacturing our own equipments. I think that is a good trend we can see. And based on the panelist discussion, we see even though we are started manufacturing the capital equipments, most of the parts, like 70% of the parts, still is dependent upon the imports, which is majorly from the global OEMs. So what is the strategy the panelists recommend to have a complete Make in India or self-reliant on this? Whether all the child parts or the sensors or the motors or anything, there will be a numerous number of parts in the capital equipment. Whether do you think everything can be IP owned by India and manufacture the complete capital equipment of Make in India, or whether we need to call upon the OEMs to manufacture those components in India and make it as a Make in India? So what is the strategy you recommend?
The correct, whatever I am aware, it is now hybrid. All are there, sourcing mostly the critical subsystems because there is no embargo or restrictions imposed by government. The reason is we don't have alternative source in the country. That is one. As a result, the flip side of this is there is a dumping of some of inferior technology or the retrofitted technology the equipment machines happens, that stops the promotion of domestic, the machines, equipments, capital goods we made. And at the same time, whether we agree or not, we are remain still followers because unlike China, we have not looked at this problem as a cohesively, right? As I said, first is we have not appreciated capital goods are very much important because product is the end user, right? Capital goods will always remain as an enabler, and this was the second priority. But looking at the geopolitical situation now, I think entire ministry, I'm also part of a government system. Now government is looking, yes, we need to build a system. Each organization, each ministry, line ministry has a different strategy. As I said, our ministry, capital goods scheme, did not support only to machine, they also supported to subsystems. Now, as I said, 16 products I mentioned, there are 18 aggregates which are going to CNC machines, are also supported in under this scheme. I think now all the line ministry, they have understood that. And second, they may be knowing there is already government of India has imposed the restrictions, particularly, of course, right now it is only limited to government organization. If I want to import any machine or the capital costing less than 200 crore is not that easy. There is a committee process. I need to take an approval. Unless there is a domestic IP, domestic content, they call domestic content, more than 20%. Why this is done? This is to promote the domestic development, right? At least 20% of the content subsystems goes into the capital goods must have manufactured in India. I think that is what called domestic content. I think people have realized, policymakers understood that. Right now it is there for the government or body, government organization, maybe tomorrow that can be extended to little larger community. How it can be extended, I'm sure as you are a private, government cannot ask you, but they will put a restriction to import because taxation system and all can be handled. And definitely there is a lot of dumping happens in the capital goods. I think we need to look into that. So any other questions? I think it's fine, another 2 minutes. Time up. Yeah.
I have an open question. So how do you see this recent India-US trade deal and India-Europe trade deal? Because the barriers for importing capital goods and industrial goods have been removed, right? So does it impact any of the your products that we are looking at to locally manufacture in India?
Yeah, that happens. That is where the associations play huge role. At least I will tell you one development happened. Our ministry recently introduced the omnibus safety regulation, right? Supposed if any machines you want to import, no matter which domain it is, from September onwards, it's supposed to be certified, audited. There was a mechanism, and BAS was also interested with this responsibility. But that has to be withdrawn because of several industry associations felt that we have not matured enough to that. We have not reached there. That would hamper the productions. That has been now suspended. It's kept on abeyance. Definitely, there is a thinking is there. That is the reason such regulations, OTRs, are worked out and introduced by several ministries, not one ministry, particularly the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. But at the same time, industry associates to facilitate industries, both on the user industry as well as on the manufacturing industry. They have to kind of hear the voices of industry. So as of now, at least in this case, all the industry voice we are not ready yet. So it will hamper. But thinking is there. Definitely government is looking that maybe sometime it will happen that yes, you can't do it. You can't import this. because there is a capability within the country. I think one day it will definitely happen. But more than that, this is my call to industry people is let us focus on creating a domestic IP. Because unless we have a domestic IP, that is what I thought maybe somebody will address global competitiveness, why people will believe, right? I think we need to focus on collect domestic IP. And another concept is somehow we Indians forgotten the terminology of, we were good in cooperation, but now cooperation has been forgotten. So maybe I end with small this one. If really wanted to become a Viksit Bharat and self-reliance with respect to technology, we need to focus on domestic IP. We need to create domestic IP now. Without IP, I think nobody will look at us. We cannot sell our capabilities. That is first point. That is possible if I believe my neighbor is my enabler. If I started looking my neighbor as my competitor, yes, I always look at USA or Germany. So if really we look at our neighbor is my enabler, I think we have the capability we can able to build. I think I will conclude here. Thank you very much. Thanks to all my panelists. And thanks to Elsina. Sorry we took 2-3 minutes extra. It seems. Yeah.
That's absolutely fine, sir. Let's give a huge round of applause for our moderator for handling the session seamlessly and for all our panelists for their perspectives on the opportunities and importance for advancing manufacturing technology. Can we give a huge round of applause for all of them together? May I now request Mr. Richard Putota, the Senior VP Elsina and Senior Director McDermott Alpha, to please join us on the stage to present the memento. Can we give a huge round of applause, everybody together? Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a huge round of applause for Dr. Naga Hanumaya, the Director, Central Manufacturing Technology Institute. Mr. Shivkumar Srinivasan, as our panelist, Managing Director, MEL System and Services. Thank you for your valuable time and presence at 15th edition Source India. We had Mr. Vinod Perumal, CEO, Equipment Technologies Private Limited. Ladies and gentlemen, can we give a huge round of applause for Mr. Raghu Srinivasa, the Managing Director, 3D CAD Global.